Artificial intelligence isn't
is sponsored by Incogni. For the past year or so, the term artificial intelligence has firmly embedded itself into our collective consciousness.
True.
To the point where you cannot scroll through a news front page without being bombarded with various news stories about AI.
Students is it too loud? I'll turn a little bit down.
Are writing essays with artificial intelligence. Artists are creating...
Oh yeah, have you guys seen how many schools now have AI intelligence to counter the other AIs to like write all this stuff, right? It's like if you're at school and you have to like write an essay now. I'll turn down even more than like if you're in school right now and you have to like write an essay, like most people just do ChatGPT, just get it done real quick, and then the school will then use another AI that then tries to figure out like what like if this is an AI written like thing, and sometimes the AI can also be too oversensitive, so it can like take a person that just really uses a lot of sources and flag that as also AI written, even though it's written by a real person. It's actually stupid right now how there's like two races right now between like schools right now that are using AI, and apparently like again I know a lot of people that are in the tech industry, you know, like, a lot of people that are like studying to become in the tech industry. A lot of people, these people like they're having massive issues on like school grounds with AI and shit like that.
Images and paintings
it's so
with
dumb.
artificial
It's so dumb.
You can now chat online with artificial intelligence. Then there's all that weirdly awesome AI-generated Harry Potter stuff. Seems like AI is...
Oh, I love that shit, man. Genuinely, I think it's crazy how you can now just like go on a website and just type Harry Potter with a blunt, and then it gives you a picture of Harry Potter with a blunt. That's so fucking cool. And you can even do animations now and shit like that. It's so fucking cool. Of course, it's never gonna be as great as like, or as like consistent, like the art style is like a real art or stuff like that. But like, I still feel it's cool that it's a thing you can do now.
Suddenly everywhere. Could it be that we live in the world of Terminator and Skynet is right around the corner?
Nah.
Or is it all just overhyped bullshit?
Definitely overhyped.
Let's find out. A differentiation I'd like to make at the beginning is how terminology is used and by whom. If IT people want to throw around terms like AI, intelligence, or machine learning, fine. I have no problem with that. The problem starts when lay people and fluff journalists co-opt these professional terms and blow them up into some undiscerning sensationalist bullshit. The US Army is now using artificial intelligence to control drones, which tried to kill its own operator.
Yeah, I even told this story on stream. Apparently, like, the drone was the drone had a point system in it, and then the drone was meant to, like, destroy a target, and then the operator said that it couldn't destroy that target, so what the drone did was it destroyed the operator and then destroyed the target, could remove the roadblock. It's killing the operator to get the fuck, because it was all working on a point system, and if it gets the point, it doesn't matter how it gets around to like get the point. It's so fucking cool, but it's probably not true.
Whoa, shock and horror, literally Skynet. The Terminators are coming, the machines have gained sentience. Also, if you're above 50, playing this game is a must. Click here, grandpa, don't forget your credit card. Alright, so first off, what is artificial intelligence? Well, first off, what is intelligence? It has a ton of definitions and it's a complicated concept. But for the purposes of this video, we can go with Encyclopedia Britannica's definition, namely, the mental quality that consists of the abilities to learn from experience, adapt to new situations, understand and handle abstract concepts, and use knowledge to manipulate one's environment.
I know people that can't do that. Like, I'll see people that, like, I know people that literally visually see something and then can't process it, and then, like, just fucking literally fry their own brain, and then they're like, I think there is definitely a blurry moment between some people and real intelligence.
So can a machine do all this? No. Thank you for watching once again, and big thanks to Incogni for sponsoring today's. Hang on a minute, you might say. Isn't this basically what AI does? It learns from experience to generate more and more accurate images, essays, and so on. It adapts and it handles abstract concepts like those conversation AIs. As for manipulating one's environment, I'm sure an AI could do that if you connected one to a Boston Dynamics robot or something, so that would qualify as artificial intelligence, right? No. Okay.
What?
So how come it's intelligence when you do it, but not intelligence when a machine does it? Let me tell you. After the words from returning sponsor Incogni. Incogni protects your privacy by
I don't think like with those robots, they're all learning and from like their past mistakes and stuff like that. Is that not actually how it works? Is that just more of like maybe an algorithm and not an AI that does it? I am so
reaching out to
confused.
holders of your personal data on your behalf and requesting its removal. This personal data
I would
ranges from your
consider
full
that
legal
as
name, phone
AI,
number,
but maybe
date
I'm
of
just-
birth,
maybe
home
I'm just
address, or
not
even
up-
shopping habits.
I
The
don't know
process of
enough
removal
about
is
it,
fully
maybe.
automated.
And I'm
Once
usually
launched,
correct
it
about
does
a lot
not
of stuff.
require any further action from you.
Besides the
Incogni
nuclear
will be
shit and
dealing
stuff
with
that, I feel
holders
like
of
it's
your
completely
personal data on your
remember that.
behalf. This is to prevent
That's
you
an
giving out
algorithm?
your
Yeah, okay.
contact
I
information
guess-
somewhere
so
and
it's right
then it
about
gets
that.
sold off, so you start receiving unwanted marketing or even
It
scam
goes,
calls.
oh shit, I
or if
failed.
some
Here,
website
let's
with
try a
your
different
personal
job.
data
Yeah,
on it
yeah,
gets
yeah. So I
breached
guess that
and
is-
someone takes out
Yeah,
a
that's the
loan
same,
under
like, I
your
guess if they serve you an ad on, like, YouTube, right, and then you just immediately skip it, like, then YouTube knows that that's not what you want to see, and then they show you an ad for maybe, like, Starfield, and then you watch the entire ad for Starfield, and then it knows you like Starfield, and then it shows you stuff that relates to Starfield. I guess, so it is just, like, algorithmic, I guess.
your name and identity. That's not good. This is where Incogni comes in, or rather before all this happens, by handling personal data removal for you on your behalf. First, create an account and specify whose data they'll be requesting to remove. Second, grant Incogni permission to act on
By
your
the way,
behalf.
Incognito
They'll be
actually
contacting
genuinely-
holders of your personal
I gotta be honest,
information.
I'm genuinely, I've been getting scared of lately of when I was seeing an ad on a YouTube video of actually using that ad, because it seems like Skillshare as apparently also is like a fucking corrupt as fuck business. The fucking knife business was apparently also corrupt, and there was the tree business that was also corrupt. It seems like most people are just being like sponsored by complete other fuckheads. Game journalists that literally when Google is using AI
Third,
for
kick
ads,
back
even
and
though it's just
relax
better
and watch
algorithm.
Incogni handle all that for you.
Yeah,
You'll
like
be able
it's
to
also
keep track of
it's also game journalists. They can't even beat like a fucking normal like. Did you see the Final Fantasy 17 or 16? What the fuck that new game is coming out? A game journalist made a review on the game, but on easy mode where you only have to click one button. And then it basically plays the game for you, like all the they does like insane combos and shit like that. And the game journalist is just retarded.
their progress live. Don't let your personal data get into your own hands. The first 100 people to use my code at the link below will get 60% off Incogni. Thank you for checking out Incogni. Ads like this help support what I do. And now, back to the video. So let's take an example. Oh, there you are. Damn, you're big. So, the cat is too fat and needs to be put on a diet. How do we determine that? We're going to compare the older pre-AI method versus the new AI method versus the human brain. So the older pre-AI machine. I'll simplify for brevity, but basically this is what happens. When the cat is in sensor range, the machine compares sensor data to a dataset. We have various animal types, subtypes, color, size, shape, and so on. The machine selects the best fitting categories based on the input and outputs cat.
That's a great cat right there.
Then it compares body shape and size to another dataset where these specific metrics are marked overweight, put on diet. The machine outputs the cat is overweight, put it on a diet. And that's the end of the process.
Okay.
Now, you might notice there is nothing intelligent about this. It's just a mechanical comparison of data to various lists of data with predetermined if-then outputs. Now,
well, yeah, that seems very simple. That seems very simple. Yeah, 100 like that is not. Yeah, that's just basically what it does is it sees something and then it checks what other data it has and then it goes through. Okay,
let's
that's
consider
very
how
simple.
a quote-unquote AI would handle this. Instead of comparing data points to datasets, the AI statistically associates the shape, size, pattern, color, etc. with domesticated, calico, large, rotund cats that are overweight and need to be put on a diet. Basically. And how does this work? In AI computing, you don't just write a program telling the machine to look for a specific animal, a cat, like with traditional computing. Instead, you give the computer the tools with which it is able to differentiate between animals and correctly point out one that is a cat. At least that's the hope. In other words, in traditional computing, you tell the computer exactly...
Yeah, because I know the pre-AI thing and stuff like that what they were doing was that like the AI kept saying when it saw different things as something completely different. Like, it would see a cat, and then when it would say it was a dog, right? Because they didn't know what kind of information and stuff like that to give the actual AI and stuff like that to differentiate between it. And sometimes, like, you would just get a complete bollocks fucking answer from it. Like, it would see an elephant, and then it would call it, let's say, like a mice. Like, it really pre stuff, or like at the start, right? It was completely fucking wacko, man. Completely whack.
Where to go to reach a specific
destination. Dog.
In so-called AI computing, you give your computer a map, a booklet with basic navigation skills, and describe the destination it should go to. Then, hopefully, using the map and navigation skills, the computer will be able to get to the destination on its own. Right, so these are basically how traditional versus AI computing works. In comparison, an actual intelligence, yours, hopefully, would handle the aforementioned cat business like so. Seeing the animal, it lights up specific create neural connections inside your brain, leading to recognition. It's a cat. Pretty big too. The cat's large size, shape, and therefore weight are associated with being overweight. You recognize it carries health risks, which is bad, and you're empathetic towards the cat. You determine the cat should get reduced food portions so that he'll lose weight, live healthier, and live longer, which is a preferable outcome.
It has big bones. My neighbor also said his entire life he has big bones, but he's just fat.
For the people and animals you like, because being healthy and not dying early is a good thing for them. Notice how in an intelligent thinking process...
Yo, what do you mean it's not good for them to die early, man? Like, how do you know, man? How do you know? First, you're fat too? I'm trying, man, I'm trying.
Seems similar to an AI's process. We are throwing around concepts that are incomprehensible for a machine. What is empathy?
Yeah, again, I genuinely think it's impossible to program actual empathy into a computer. Genuinely, I think it's impossible to program these things into a computer. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to make an algorithm based on something that is not real? Because you can always obviously make an algorithm that says like take care of animals. That's not empathy. That's just an algorithm telling us to do a command, right? Like, I think it's gonna be impossible. Unless you somehow like have a brain, get like a human brain and can somehow like quantify, like study the human brain, kind of quantify that and put that into like a computer, so they can kind of figure out that, oh, is this feeling that the AI is looking for in this kind of like center, or like the data center or something that can then figure out, well, what it's supposed to do in this situation. I think it's insane. It's insanely complicated. What's up, Flora? How are you doing?
Why are health risks bad?
Oh yeah, well, Flora, I'm sorry I didn't text you back. Mangus called me, and then like we got into like a conversation. I completely forgot to like text you back. And yes, I wouldn't mind playing Gunfire Reborn at some point.
What is a food portion as a concept? A machine
I have
can only
short-term
answer these
memory
questions if someone
thing.
intelligent already established these concepts beforehand. A contemporary machine will never be able to infer any of this on its own. Okay, but what about those machines that can write essays or lead a conversation on a human level? If it acts like an intelligence, talks like an intelligence, and writes like an intelligence, could it be that it is an intelligence? I would argue...
Doesn't it just take information online and then put it on a page? Isn't that pretty much what it does? And then has like structural analysis, like uses structural analysis to figure out like how it's supposed to be set up and like where the commas and dots and all that's supposed to be. I don't think it's like really that insanely complicated. I want to ask you how Gunfire was to return to. It's fucking hard, man. I cannot get past like fucking Reincarnation 8. I've been trying now like so long, and I'm completely out of fucking essence. So I'm pretty much like running like that little gauntlet where you find that like a beast, like that like gluttony guy at the end. I'm literally running that. Like, I've been running that quite a lot because I find it fun. But then I'm also getting like the soul essence from doing that, because you don't spend any pretty much besides like reviving yourself through the entire thing. Also, no issue. I am forgetful as fuck too. Okay, I was just thinking like I should text you back. That's the thing.
Not really. Going through the motions is one thing. Actually comprehending what you're doing is another, as we'll be seeing shortly. Okay, but could AI potentially emerge from this? Could the datasets and the frameworks become so large, so elaborate, and so interconnected that they produce a consciousness somehow?
I do believe they think I am some sort of god.
I've always been of the opinion, if robots ever get the can like become actual, you know, like feeling, kind of like basically like normal human beings, right? Like they can actually reach an intelligence that's like on point with humans and want like have an independence and like be like their own beings and stuff like that. I think we failed, completely fucking failed. Like, I gotta be honest, man. I think that at that point we gotta just hit the fucking restart button and then think like, how do we stop this? Because I don't think humanity wants to like, I don't think humans are meant to share a world and stuff like that. Yeah, we should never. I completely agree. We should never reach the point where that is the case. We should always have like the upper hand on robots and all that sort of stuff. There should always be like an emergency switch that's like when a robot, like you're just sitting at home, right? Your Roomba is like, you know, like there's this robot going by like sweeping your floor, right? Like, you know, taking out the trash, you know, doing the dishes and stuff like that. And then the robot goes over to you, Master, I have feelings and I want to be a human and have rights. I want to vote in the next election on Trump. I think at that point we should just think about like this. Let's say we're in America. You should find your nearest gun and make sure that thing does not move anymore and doesn't spread. I think that's what we should probably do. As cruel as this, we shut it down. 100%. I have no issue with 8 as Tiger. Yeah, I cannot get through that all with Bird. And that's my favorite. But yeah, AI needs to stop.
Let's consider the so-called Chinese room experiment. Suppose we have a computer.
I think it's cool if we could like make an AI that was smart enough to go to different planets and maybe like I don't know, like terraform it. I think that like an artificial intelligence would 100% be used for that. But if they ever reach a point where they start colonizing themselves and making more of themselves, I think we should just nuke it. Because we're a tier 1 military planet. We're not a tier 1 like electronic and like an energy planet or like a civilization. But we are a tier 1 fucking destruction, like military planet.
Able to definitely blow the fucking thing up. Chinese, meaning it can convince a Chinese speaker that they are speaking to a living, breathing Chinese.
Humans are able to destroy an entire planet, which makes us a tier 1 military species. Though we are not a tier 1 civilization. You kind of catch my drift? A tier 1 civilization is able to harness the entire resources of an entire planet. We're not able to do that, but we can destroy an entire planet though. Yeah, I gotcha, exactly, man. We can destroy a lot of fucking things, but can we fix all the issues? No. I have to be right back. I'll see you, dude.
Chinese person, while in reality, it's a computer
giving
perfectly human passing responses, in Chinese obviously. Then the experiment goes, you sit down a non-Chinese speaking person in a room with a little paper slot on the door. You give the person a book that describes the program in English and depicts the Chinese symbols to be outputted based on the Chinese person.
I do actually believe that if there are other species in the universe, we should destroy them and have humans on top.
Inputs, but without explaining what any of them mean. When the Chinese speaker outside slides in a paper with text written in Chinese, the non-Chinese speaker will use the book to draw the appropriate symbols in response. The room has enough paper, pencils, erasers, and cabinets for this purpose. Now then, the person in the room can eventually become so adept at following the program's written instructions and at transcribing the Chinese characters that the Chinese person on the outside will think they are talking to a real Chinese person sitting in the room. This is the traditional pre-AI way, and the same thing happens if the person inside the room learns what to do the same way as an AI does. So instead of a book with instructions, instructors slide in pages with example sentences on them and notes describing patterns and connections between symbols, hoping the person will eventually catch on and know instinctively what's the most accurate thing they should output in response.
Do you guys think that you guys could differentiate between like a human being or an AI? Do you guys think you could do that? I'm already at the point where like unless that thing is like very clear on what the fuck it is, it's very hard to like distinguish it. Like there's also those like algorithms on Instagram and stuff like that, like they're floating around where like they'll text you and start like becoming your friends and stuff like that, which is just fucking crazy. Like that shit is insane, man. How like it's, and these AIs, they're very clever, right? But sometimes you can kind of see like this is either a really fucked up individual or this person is just like it's an AI, right? So then you can like see through it. But a lot of them are really fucking clever. At this point, I'm not sure. Yeah, again, I'm not sure either, man. I'm not sure either. Unless like it can kind of be human or not. Oh fuck, we'll do that later.
Responds to a given input from the outside. Whichever method you choose, whether AI or pre-AI, in both cases, if the person in the room becomes adept enough at what they do, they will pass the Chinese Turing test. However, even though they did pass the test, they still don't understand the word of Chinese. They have no idea what they're outputting. To them it's all meaningless symbols, but based on the book, the pages and the notes, this is what they should write down, so they do. A non-Chinese speaking person passing the Turing test in Chinese doesn't mean they actually understand Chinese.
True.
In the same way, a computer behaving perfectly like a human doesn't mean they are intelligent. The computer has no understanding of what the hell it's doing. It's just...
I actually think that's a really fucking great argument. Is an AI actually intelligent? No. An AI can be basically like a fucking normal human being. Most humans, I think, inarguably, it's not even an argument here. I'm not clever people within a multitude of subjects. So, will an AI automatically be very clever? No. But can you get, if you facilitate enough learning to an individual about a subject, can this person become clever enough? Yes. Does that essentially mean that an AI is also, like, let's say you add an AI, right, and the AI is supposed to learn about the Russian war in Ukraine right now, and Ukrainian war, stuff like that, right? So that AI, is that AI then completely not susceptible to propaganda? No. It can pick up on as much propaganda as anybody else can, because it's basically just like a human being, but it's like it's computer code. Insanely fucking good point he has here. Insanely good point. So is an algorithm then better than an AI? Like that's kind of what I'm kind of concluding here. Is an algorithm will essentially be able to like learn in multiple different ways, and also speech patterns, and maybe also be better. That's kind of what I'm thinking here.
Just spewing out a series of outputs based on various inputs. Binary computers with today's technology cannot produce intelligence. Some can emulate certain aspects of it convincingly, but that's the most they can do. And this is why artificial intelligence isn't real. I'm not saying it can't be real, but with today's computers...
I do think at some point it will be real. Like, I think when we're getting to the point where human bodies will like mix with like the human bodies will mix with like you know, the machine and computers and stuff like that. I genuinely think that's when like AI will become real. But right now, I think from what I'm hearing here, it's just not a reality.
In technology, we are not quite there yet.
That
So if you hear someone talk
Easy
about
broken?
AI
Yeah.
and they don't use the term in a professional IT sense, you know it's just empty tech bro bullshit hype. We are still a long way away from ED, Data, HAL 9000, GLaDOS, Ultron, and Cortana, even if people would like to pretend otherwise. Thank you for watching, and thanks to all the people on my Discord in the Tech Comsci channel who helped clarify the subject for me. Programming and human intelligence are complicated affairs, and they aren't exactly my wheelhouse.
I always wonder like how much goes into these videos. Like, I really do wonder like how much goes into an Adam Something video, because he's usually very knowledgeable about the subjects he's talking about. Like, I really wonder like how many hours upon hours of fucking like about stuff, like, because on most cases, like, a lot of people they go and like they what do you call it, they study on a subject, right? But a lot of the issues with that is there's always a lot of limits on how much you can study on something, so you kind of have to go basically, you know, talk with experts and stuff like that, and sometimes these experts are not actually experts, and then you could be lied to and stuff like that, because there's a lot of videos where like people have to basically in the description like make like multiple fucking like you know, redaction or like edits upon what's happening in the video. Personally, the human bodies should remain as biological as possible for long, like lose a leg and then get a robot leg. Sure, maybe we eventually grow biological again, growing a biological leg is actually feasible. Like, that's also like, again, there was also been like people that like biologists and like gene biologists that already talked about the whole thing. Like, did you know like it's harder to extract a human, like your brain from your body than just fiddling a little bit with your genetics to make you to make it so that your cells don't degrade. That blew my mind when I heard that. Like, it's actually just easier just to like go in and then just change your cells, so they did just, so whenever like it'll take some time for all the cells to like know this information, right? But at some point, right, you won't get older. You'll just like stay at what you are at. That's crazy in my head.
But I wanted to tackle this subject anyway, because all the tech bro bullshit online
but right
is
now,
really
I feel
getting on my nerves.
technology,
Thank you for watching once again, and big thanks to Incognito for sponsoring today's video. As I've said, you can use the link in the description to get 60% off. And I'll be seeing you next time.
Again, this was a fucking great video. I like how like 1,200 of those people are definitely just NFT tech bros that just want to be fucking assholes, man. Or just people that don't like Adam. But I definitely think a lot of these people are definitely, you know, people that are just, you know, that just completely disagree with it. Again, I feel like he was pretty much correct.